At the time of the Industrial Revolution in Europe, society was plagued with such issues as widespread poverty, low-quality goods at unreasonable prices, a lack of morals in daily life, and a rigid social class structure, and competition in business. In order to combat these issues, several ideologies were proposed by various people with differing political opinions. Of these, capitalism, socialism, and utilitarianism seem the three most practical. However, not all fit the needs of every nation, and one stood above the others as a shining beacon of success: capitalism. Capitalism is superior to both socialism and utilitarianism as it advocates for a free market with minimal government intervention and allows for the most growth and prosperity, whereas socialism and utilitarianism are inferior due to socialism's removal of competition, which holds the economy back from reaching its potential, and its prevention from people from reaching true success through its unified class system, and utilitarianism's focus on the majority's happiness rather than economic success, which further stifles economic progression. Capitalism, the political and economical system in which trade and industry are controlled by private owners for profit, sought to drive down the price and heighten the quality of consumer goods while increasing the general intelligence and standard of society as a whole. Capitalism increases the quality of goods and brings down their price by introducing competition on their production. As stated in The Wealth of Nations, an article by Adam Smith, the sole purpose of all production is to provide the best possible goods to the consumer at the lowest possible price. There is only one reason why production exists: to provide customers with the best possible goods at the lowest possible price. The only way to achieve this is through capitalism. As the free market capitalism comes with breeds competition between suppliers, which in turn leads to companies striving to edge out each other and create the highest quality goods at the cheapest prices possible in order to gain customers. Additionally, capitalism also strengthened the positive qualities of individuals by giving all an equal opportunity to succeed. As stated by John Stuart Mill in his article on representative government, we may consider then, as one criterion of the goodness of a government, the degree in which it tends to increase the sum of good qualities in the governed. This states that one aspect in which to critique a government is on how well it facilitates the overall rise of the quality of the people it governs. This then categorizes capitalism as the best option, as capitalism allows for people to flourish and succeed in a free market, which in effect allows for people to rise from the bottom to the top of society. This freedom for people to be able to achieve success through means other than factory working increases the general goodness of the governed, fixing the problem of poverty as well as it allowed people to become successful from any point in society. Capitalism also boosts the morality and intellect of the people, as it allows for the least amount of government intervention in the business environment. As further expressed by John Stuart Mill in his article Representative Government, the most important point of excellence which any government can possess is to promote the virtue and intelligence of the people themselves. In order for a government to be a success, it has to support and elevate the intelligence of the people it governs. If a government has too strong of a hold on its people, they will be held back by the law, and the economy will not thrive. This oppression would also drive people to become corrupt, in search of ways around the government's authority. Therefore, capitalism, with its minimal government intervention in business, is the best option. It allows for the most freedom in business and keeps people away from corruption, as there is no major oppressing force for people to try and overcome. This allows people to rise up from their poverty and therefore fixes the problem of widespread poverty. Capitalism is therefore the best option to embrace for a country's success, as it gives people means to succeed through freedom in the economy and allows for intercorporate competition to further improve the quality and price of consumer goods. While socialism accounts for certain errors of the time, it does not holistically solve them as well as capitalism does.
Socialism, the theory which states that production, distribution, and trade should be owned collectively by the people, is not as good of an option as capitalism, as it stifles growth through its unified class structure, makes jobs seem unattractive, and reduces competition. An excerpt from the Communist Manifesto written by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels states, "Masses of laborers crowded into the factory organized like soldiers. They are slaves of the machine and the manufacturer. Instead of rising as an industry progresses, they sink deeper and deeper into poverty. What the two men are saying here is that the men are becoming further embedded into the depths of the social system by means of their ties to the machines they use for work. When their work is successful, they aren't the ones that raise through the social classes, but are rather further propelled downward. Another excerpt from the Communist Manifesto states that the worker class has lost all individual character and consequently all charm for workmen. But in a societal structure that strives for equality among social classes, more individuality is lost. A passage from the Principles of Communism, written by Friedrich Engels, says, "Above all, the government will have to take control of industry and all the branches of production out of the hands of competing individuals." Engels is trying to convey here that to make the economy more equal and fair for everybody, the government must take the economy out of the hands of the competitive. This will not work because the competitive are what make the economy overall stronger, with their driving down of goods prices and such. Competition is what makes an economy strong, and though removing it would make the economy more equal, it would only hold it back in the end. The lack of competition in business prevents people from striving to reach true success, and instead promotes menial work and halts the progression of an economy. In addition, with no competition, producers feel no need to improve neither the quality nor the prices of their goods, which further stifles progress. Socialism is inferior to capitalism due to its unified class structure and lack of competition. Additionally, utilitarianism falls short because of its focus on the majority of the population's happiness rather than the economic success of the country as a whole. Utilitarianism is the philosophy in which the happiness of the greatest number of people in the society is the ultimate goal. An action is morally right if its consequences lead to an absence of pain, and wrong if it ends in pain. Since the link between actions and their unhappy or unhappy outcomes depends on the circumstances, no moral principle is absolute or necessary in itself under utilitarianism. The only happiness of the governed is factored when it is making decisions. Utilitarianism fixed the dropping morality of the time period by emphasizing the importance of people's morale in government. John Stuart Mill says in Representative of Government, "Besides that their well-being is the sole object of government, society's good qualities supply the moving force which works the machinery. The driving force behind a successful government is the happiness of the people. When the people are happy, the government and its business run smoothly. However, when the people are not happy, progress is slowed down and the government begins to malfunction." By stating that the prosperity of a nation depends on the moral of its people, Mill suggests that the happiness of the majority is the most important thing a government can worry about. Therefore, in order to satiate this, the utilitarianist government is necessary as it prioritizes the happiness of its people over anything else. However, this only manages to fix one issue, and there is therefore less effective than capitalism. Capitalism is the best option for a government to adopt because of its allowance of freedom in the economy for the individual to be as successful as they can. This opens doors for possibilities no other policies can compete with. Socialism and utilitarianism don't even hold a candle. Socialism prevents a country from reaching its true potential by abolishing competition, the building block of a strong economy, due to its influence on the quality and price of goods and industry. And utilitarianism is inferior because of its provincial idea of only taking into account the overall happiness of the majority and not considering that people's feelings are not the greatest factor in a government.